Hello, it's Ben with Belmont Solar. Today let's look a little bit into the history of solar power, especially here in the northeastern states. So in 2002 I found out what solar power can do. Back then most people did not know what the word solar meant. It was just really foreign and just a whole different era. Light bulbs, LED light bulbs were pretty much not in existence then yet, just to give you some context. But I found out what solar power can do. Power out of thin air. And it could provide power immediately, and it could be stored and used later on, and it can even power entire houses. So from this excitement and my love of technology, I found out that it can be done much better than most people realized back then. I get asked how I started Belmont Solar. Well, it came down to a lot of late hours. I started from the very basics and the beginning of doing the hard, dirty work and being an installer myself and building up from there. So a bottom-up approach rather than top-down. It started as a shop from the upstairs of my barn at home, and just a small crew of 2 or 3 doing installs, service, and consultation, and grew from there. When people are thrilled, they will do some of the marketing for you and tell others, and referrals is a much better foundation to stand on than cold calling or knocking on doors or leads like that. So I have 3 letters that stand for something. It's written out as PEN. Performance, education, and neatness. Performance means that the systems work so well that people love telling others about it, and that's what has led to our referrals and ongoing work. Education is about giving people a good idea what to expect, what's realistic, and what can be done with their needs. And neatness, well, that should just be a given, especially if you care about good workmanship and would only do the kind of work you would do at your own house. So we offer 3 distinct types of systems. There can be variations beyond or between those 3, but it starts with grid tie, and it expands into grid tie with battery backup, and it can be even for a completely off-grid location. Let's start with grid tie. That means that usually all your power that you use on an annual basis gets produced on the rooftop or wherever your solar collection is, and then it just turns the meter backwards, and you use those credits overnight or in the winter time a lot like a bank account or a savings account. It doesn't have to be used immediately, and it doesn't even have to be taken out of a bank account in the exact same dollar bills. It's power for later use. Now, when you want power when there's no grid power, that's just simply adding a battery bank so you can store some power on site, kind of like keeping cash on hand versus depending on 1s and 0s in the bank. And then completely off-grid requires you to store all your excess power on site for use that night or that winter. And in completely off-grid, depending on your power usage, you might even need a generator backup for cloudy weeks or days in the middle of winter. The goal is often to only have minimal runtime, from 20 to 100 hours max per winter of runtime hours on the generator, and then the solar and a good battery bank does everything else. In my quest for ongoing improvement, I have found one fundamental flaw in solar over the years, and that is how it's being mounted on the roof. And the common industry standard today yet is just using plastic cable ties in one of the worst conditions you can put it in, high heat, UV light, humidity, temperature changes, right underneath the panels, right above your roof. I knew there was got to be a better way, and eventually I did find part of it, and that was where The wire management is integrated into the mounting system, and the mounting system is stronger, sturdier, and just more solid than the industry average. And then we started using that. It wasn't run quite the best from a team in New York, so eventually in 2017 I bought them out and improved on that design even since then. It just changes how everything is done. Instead of 5 or 10 years from now, usually right around year 7 is when these cable ties start breaking and wires start drooping and hanging on the roof and rubbing against the roof. And instead now it's integrated and lasts 25 years or longer, as long as the rest of the system is designed to last. So what's here at Belmont Solar? Well, there's a good consultation team, because that's very important in setting the foundation of what to expect for your project and your end result. We have a team of passionate people about making solar power a reality, electrical power out of thin air. And we have 3 install crews and we have 1 service guy. And then there's even more technical things behind the scenes for proper permitting, for proper timeline, for proper consultation. And we're in it for the long haul for you, your friends and neighbors, and we just try to provide excellent service in this unique field of solar power. So if you would like to understand a lot more about what can be done in solar power on a residential or small business level here in Pennsylvania or Maryland, I'd love to discuss it further with you. You can come visit, you can call, you can visit our website, and our website has a lot of good information. And then what to expect, just provide pictures, a conversation, a copy of a utility bill, a list of what you want to power, and this can be turned into something that works almost like magic. Indeed, power out of thin air. This is Ben with Belmont Solar. Thank you.